Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Classic Boat Rescue. Here we are high atop the Belleville Mountains in Greenwood Lake, New York, specifically Indian Park. Shout out to all my Indian Park friends. Yay, what's going on? We're going to do a little episode here on an interesting little project. That's good. That you probably saw in my Back to the Future silly video that I did on a rainy Monday just to cheer you guys up. But what do we got here? This is actually my neighbor Jimmy's Johnson seahorse kicker motor. That kicker motor is like something you clamp onto your transom next to your full-size motor. And a little coasting motor, something to get you back in and out of the marina, or if you want to put it on your John boat or on your rowboat or something like that. Yeah, you could use it for fishing or something like that. It's actually a really cool little motor, and it's a 1947. It's a 5-horse. It's a TD designation, and it's really kind of cool. Back then, I think what they did was they made things pretty in hopes that you may buy them. I mean, they made refrigerators all streamlined, and they made radios all kind of Art Deco, fancy, smooth, and curvy, sort of like they looked like they were going fast standing still, that kind of thing. And I guess their thought was that if it was pretty enough, maybe you'd buy it over the other guys. And everybody was trying to make everything look pretty back then. And I guess outboards were no exception. They made them pretty. I mean, just look at that guy. It just looks like it's moving, just standing still. And I love the logo. Cool font on that decal there. All right, so what do we got? There's the petcock. And that's for turning on and off the fuel. All right, got that. And what do we got up here? We got the idle mixture, fuel mixture. You got lean and rich. And then it's got this feature where you can push down on that knob, and I guess it works like a tickler on a old carb on a British bike, like on an old Amel carb. And down here you got the throttle controls. You got slow, you got stop. I'm guessing, I don't know this engine that well, so I'm just guessing. And it says stop, so I'm guessing what happens here is it either shuts off the, I'm guessing it's going to be shutting off the power to the ignition system there. And I'm guessing that's going to be your choke for the start there. And then there's a tiller that comes down like that. It looks like it's missing I think there was probably a rubber handle here. Some kind of almost like a handlebar grip on a bicycle. I'll have to find out. And then over here, what do we got? That's for fast. So you got start, and that's for going fast. And that's for going slow. Yeah, so they got an intermediate setting for right in between fast and slow. And there's your instructions. Yeah, it's a TD model. It says so right there. 5 horsepower. And there's your starting instructions. Right there. Certified at 4,000 RPM. Oh, and originally it came with a bag of tools and an instruction booklet, which I think is long as it's going. It's from Waukegan, Illinois, in case you're wondering. There's the pull starter. What do we got on this side? Alright, so we're going to try to get this thing running. This will be a sort of a will it run kind of thing. This thing hasn't been run about 20 years. It's been sitting in my neighbor's shed for quite a while. I'm going to try to get it running. I think the first thing we need to do is establish that we got some kind of spark. I know that doesn't have any fuel in it. I opened up the gas cap and looked down inside, and there's no fuel in there. I wonder what it's like as far as rust or contamination. I'm guessing there's some in there. Can you see in there, guys? What do you see in there? Actually, it looks kind of clean through the lens of the camera. I can't really tell. It smells like old gas. I smell it. You can't see it. Too bad. What's the old saying? Wish you had smell-o-vision. If you had smell-o-vision, you'd be able to smell what I smell. All right. So what I'm going to do is I've loosened up and taken some of the bolts off. There's a couple of bolts off. Actually, were screws. They're like trumpet screws. I've taken some of the bolts off, and I'm gonna pull it off there. I'm gonna look underneath it and see what we got going on. See, I'm ready to go. Actually, I took it off, but I put them back on. I took off the bottom here just to take a look around under there, just to make this video a little more convenient. But I propped it back up so that we could take it off together, take a look underneath, sort of like a reveal. A full disclosure here on Classic Boat Rescue. Okay, hold on. I'll take that lower cover off there, and we'll see what's going on under there. Okay, we're back. So let's see what we got going on. Lower cover's off. And what do we got here? There's your carburetor. See that? And there's a tickler mechanism. What do we got there? There's your float. I'm guessing your float is in this chamber. And this is where the fuel line is attached, running up to the petcock, and then further up to this gas tank. It's like a big donut-shaped gas tank that surrounds a flywheel that's in there. We'll probably see that later. Now, I was concerned at first. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is to see if it's seized or not. See if the cylinders are free. And on this one, yeah, the cylinders are free. Okay, so we have a potentially good motor. It's going to run, I think. If you notice over here on the cable for the pull start, it's got a cloth covering over a steel braided cable. And the cloth kind of frayed away over there. And over there, I guess just from old age and wear. It's just frayed. I got to figure out how we're going to solve that problem. We'll find out. You know, I mean, worst comes to worst, what we'll have to do is remove these two screws, see what's under there, see if there's a knot under there that holds this in place or some kind of clamp, and either replace it or try to find a way to repair this cloth covering. I'd like to replace this cloth covering somehow and keep it as stock as possible, but we'll have to find out how to do that. So, getting back to the mechanics of it, yeah, there's the back of the motor, and there's where the fuel line goes in, from the tank, right there. No, oh no, you know what, that's not the fuel line. I'm not sure what this is for. I'll have to ask around to see what that's doing. Yeah, this is going over here, it's going over here. This fuel line goes to this line. It's like a hard line. It goes to this kind of like splitter here. Oh, it might be for oil or something. I don't know. I'll have to ask some of the experts. I know nothing about these. I'm relatively new to this whole game. I know motorcycles and I know cars to some degree. I don't know these boat motors that well. Okay, we got it's a two-cylinder. Obviously, got two spark plugs here, right? And they're kind of neat if you look at them. You got the little electrode for the spark plug. Actually, comes off and unscrews. And what do you got going on over there? The spark plug wire actually sits. It's got an eyelet and it's kind of captured underneath the electrode. These electrodes, like on a car, these electrodes would actually be where you would clip on your spark plug boot, and inside there's a kind of a clip that holds it to this electrode. But in this case, what they're doing is they're using the electrode as sort of a mount. They're using it as a mount for that. Yeah, I loosened up the spark plugs earlier, and yeah, I looked inside. I looked at the spark plugs, and they're not in bad shape, actually. They look okay. Now the issue is, I'm not getting any spark. I grounded the plug. I pulled the plug out and grounded the bottom of the plug while this was connected to the electrode, and I'm not getting any spark. And that's the issue we're going with here so far. Is we don't have any spark. No spark, no ignition. This thing doesn't go for room. So what I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to take it down to Sportsman's Marina, a place I work occasionally. Some people would say that I don't work there enough, or I don't spend enough time working there, or I don't do enough down there. Hi, Harold. How are you? And we're going to find out if the experts down there can help me out. It's the guy who I just busted his chops. Harold down there is an ace mechanic when it comes to these things. And the only guy in the territory that knows what's going on with these antique outboard motors. Apparently everybody seems to like to come to Harold. He's been in the business for over 35 years. And if anybody can fix this up, he can. From what I understand, everybody comes to Harold when it comes to these old outboards. He's also really good, from what I understand, with the old pulley steering systems on old boats for the cable mechanism, that push-pull cable mechanism that's on a lot of the old boats. Seems like nobody else can string them up like Harold. Everybody sends those steering mechanisms to him, because I guess they're a little bit difficult to like spool up and get right. But I think what we're going to do on the next episode of this motor repair or motor revival build is we're going to run down to Sportsman's Marina, visit Harold, and hopefully he can help us out. Not hopefully, he will help us out. It's just a matter of whether or not I can convince him to. He could help us out, but you know, let's see what he says. Maybe if I buy him a 6-pack. So until the next episode, most likely from the Sportsman's Marina, my home away from home, this is Mike, wishing you a great time on the water and a great time on the land. From Classic Boat Rescue, let's say goodbye for now, and stay tuned for the episode coming up in the future, and we'll meet Harold, master mechanic over at Sportsman's, and see what he says about this thing. Until then, I'll say goodbye. Classic Boat Rescue is sometimes brought to you by Sportsman's Marina, the place to go for all your recreational boating needs. Whether it's gasoline or parts or expert service, Sportsman's Marina is the place to go. Hey, and ask about our Easy Dock modular docking systems for your waterfront footage. It'll make your waterfront footage your very own Sportsman's Marina. Ask Rich all about them.